this button for, and then this button for, and then this button for, and hi everybody, welcome to Children of Rath.
Hi, I'm recommending we hit it and quit it.
Hi, I'm gonna follow that plan, despite the fact I think it's a bad plan because I like violence.
I'm not allowed to do that. I'm married.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, you just made me so happy.
Okay.
I missed you guys.
Yep. That was the thing that happened. Anyway. Yes, we're playing D&D. Last week...
In a Magic the Gathering universe.
That's true. Last week, some things happened. A large portion of the team ended up via submersible in an underground area where there's the weird power thing, and we're exploring it. They discovered the 6 passages that are seemingly like, I guess, repair conduits. Can be activated with stone shape. The thing about those is they are temporary. You learned from your stone shapers that if you wanted to, you could effectively install a door on the other side, but you would need a stone shaper to take any of those paths in. Is effectively what you would have to do. But it would be, I don't know, is it easier than taking the submersible down? Maybe? For certain people, you're never getting carried in the submersible, so certainly that would be the way to get carried anywhere near this kind of stuff.
I don't think we're going to get carry anywhere that's underwater.
Sure we are.
No.
We just get her drunk enough.
I don't want to...
And high enough.
You
I'm not even
plant
going to finish that. I just don't want to.
underwater.
There's like, it's like badly spelled. It's like D-A-R-G, Dargs. And a sign that points there. It's like, who made that? I don't know. I thought someone else made that. I just found it.
Darg's here.
Fresh Dargs.
The ocean floor is full of dargs.
You're welcome. Anyway, so yes, that's kind of where things have left off. I believe you were looking into the top and bottom passageways, correct? On the,
Yeah, we had gone through the bottom. We had checked out the bottom one so far.
Well,
and that led to the dead end.
that wasn't the bottom one. That was the one that you came from. Originally. Remember, there's one on the top, one on the bottom, and 6 in the middle. Because the 6 in the middle are linked to where the
that
6...
was one of the middle ones.
Yeah. The 6 in the middle seem to be linked off to the 6 places that most likely energy from this thing are going to. Or at least they're channeling in 6 directions energy. Whether they split off more, you don't know. Certainly the one you followed doesn't split off, I will say. And then there's something at the top and bottom of this shaft. Giggity.
Sure, so bottom it is.
Alright. Certainly, Hang or Wintress can once again use Stone Shape and activate this door down here. It becomes a door, actually. Like, once they use their abilities on it, like a seemingly like a door handle, like a place to pull on it, pops up, and it looks like it becomes like an actual, like, swinging stone door.
Hey guys, we got a door.
Do you know where it leads?
Not yet.
Perhaps this is worth
Didn't know if you
investigating.
guys want to come down and look at me before I just, charge in.
No, I think you should just charge in. Go ahead. It'll be fine. Nothing bad will happen, I'm sure.
Aren't you the fastest one out of us, Claude?
I'm not faster than anyone else. I have 30 feet movement.
You can bonus action dash, though.
I could also haste you.
Yes.
Do I have my haste up?
Also, it just might be a good idea to have someone else down here to, cover my back.
I look at Kaz.
It's your best friend, man. It's your job. I cover Carrion's back, you cover Claude's. That's how this works.
Well, when you put it like that, I guess I can't disagree. Claude, I'm on my way.
I feel so loved.
I put my hand on his back and say, "Don't worry. This is revenge for being somewhat judgmental toward me back in the house earlier."
Mm-hmm. All right.
You have a
Hey,
very
sometimes
healthy
a friend's
relationship.
gotta tell you the truth.
Opening the stone door, it seems to lead into like an area that is around the base of this kind of thing. There is a small kind of chamber with a ladder down.
I will look down the ladder.
Seemingly goes down maybe like 30 feet. There is glowing down there.
Is there anything else we notice in the room? Can I like scan it?
The room that you're currently in, like which is right beyond the door, it's pretty nondescript. It seems to just be like a room of carved stone. Pretty simple. Nothing kind of fancy about it.
Eldrick's sight while looking down the ladder.
Not really gonna pick up anything.
Is it glowing with magical energy?
Whatever glow it is, because you're not looking at its source, you don't know.
No. Claude, you're supposed to do it like this. I chuck a silver piece into it.
It falls down, gets lit up, and hits the ground. Clink, 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 clink. Certainly the light doesn't seem to do anything to a silver piece.
I was hoping it was quite literally a wishing well.
Uh-huh. Okay. If I start screaming, try to save me?
Wait, you didn't jump down, did you?
No, I say that and I get on the ladder.
Okay.
You're not really gonna go down there, are you?
You gotta know what's down there.
It could be dangerous and not worth our time.
Or it could be an answer to everything we need to know.
Again, the answer to everything we need to know is locked in our basement. I just don't want to talk to him.
Neither do I. Aren't you up on like another floor?
I'm very loud.
You're just screaming through the doorway.
Well, no, he's up on the scaffolding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I came
Okay,
down
Claude.
a little bit.
If you scream, I'll come down. How about that?
Okay.
The first thing you notice is that, like, the glowing light seems to be coming from, like, almost like an inner chamber to this room. This room is another cylindrical room, you can tell, just by the walls of it, but it seems larger than the one you were in before, as if it's housing something. There's, like, an inner kind of, like, grating, which kind of blocks some of the view inside, that, from what you can tell, that grating, it kind of blocks... light comes out of it, kind of, and you can tell that the shape of it is also cylindrical, so it's like there's the stone cylinder of the building, and there's like kind of like a weird metal cylinder grating that seems to kind of be the kind of shape and size of the room you were just in, the large vertical shaft.
Do my eldritch eyes see anything?
Like, you can get spatters of, like, energy coming out of there, and you're fairly certain there's, like, large amounts of magic there, but it's kind of hard to pin down right now. It seems as though at the base of the ladder there is, like a gated door that leads inside.
Max, you might want to tell the Kaz to come down.
Did you like climb back up to tell me this, or am I just trying to like discern it?
I'm yelling up the hole.
I'll be right back. Kazrin, it looks like there's a thing that Claude wants us to see down the ladder.
Okay, fine. Fine. Let's go.
Between you and me, I'd rather not explore down there.
No, I agree. But we're already here.
It's fair. Do you think it's worth telling our other friend about this?
Look, there's so many people in the house. Who do you mean?
Who's the guy that came to investigate with us?
I think it's just us. I don't think any of Gatewatch
Yeah,
came.
none of
Garn
them
didn't come
came
down this time. He said if you need him, you can come get him.
Oh, this is a separate trip than before?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the second
Oh,
trip.
so all of our spell slots are back since then, right?
Maybe? Actually, no. I think it's the same day.
Same
It's
day.
the same day, just
Okay.
So you haven't rested, technically.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Because I'm down
How
with
did I
you.
get? Oh, I remember how I got hurt. I got hit by a sword.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, I guess we go walk to Claude now, right?
Yep.
As I said, there's this weird kind of like metal grated structure that doesn't quite block light, but blocks a lot of line of sight. And there's a bright light that seems to be coming out of it that makes it kind of hard to look inside. And then there's that kind of like a door in this with a similar kind of made of a similar kind of grating that leads into this kind of central cylinder that seems to be the base of this entire apparatus.
Do we see this too?
Yeah, you can see this if you climb down the ladder.
Can I?
Can I climb back up?
Easily? It's like a 30-foot climb. It's not difficult. That's a ladder.
there is magic coming from it, by the way.
Are we all next to each other and able to talk?
Yes. Like, I'm assuming Kaz and Claude are at the bottom of the ladder. So there's like a 8-foot gap between the ladder and the door. Not a huge gap, so you're like right there in front of it, pretty much. There doesn't seem to be any kind of locks or anything on the door. It just seems to be a door you could open.
Okay, why am I down here?
I figured this is more your forte of whatever this could be.
Well, it's a door.
No, I meant whatever's in the grating producing energy and magic.
Oh. Yeah, that's a little more my speed than the door. That is true.
Yeah.
I
Kaz,
can't...
are you thinking what I'm thinking for what may possibly be behind this? Perhaps a type of fish?
What do you mean, a type of fish?
Oh,
Surely you as a sailor are familiar with something known as an anglerfish, no?
Oh. I mean, yes.
there is a strange, like, mechanical noise coming from that area. That's something I can't forget is happening.
I can't touch it because there's a grate in the way, right?
Well, there's a grated door, so you can easily open the door. Looking at the door, there is no lock on it. It's just to close up everything. And probably because it looks like it's very bright in there.
It probably has something to do with the energy that's going out upstairs. This is maybe what's generating everything?
Okay. Okay, how about we all back... Can I investigate the door to make sure it's not, like, tripwired and shit?
Sure. Investigation. You just roll it.
Oh, wait. There we go. Not good.
You don't find anything. It just seems like a normal door, honestly.
Okay. Alright, everyone, let's open the door. I open the door.
You open the door, and it is bright. It is like a sudden brightness that you are not expecting at all. It is like, blindingly bright, I would say.
If I had corneas, this would hurt.
I
Yeah,
have corneas and this hurts.
it would be like equivalent to like all of a sudden being like in the daylight spell or something like that, you know. So it's incredibly bright. Your eyes can adapt to it, but there is like an irritation that you're getting from this entire brightness because like you can tell now that like the door is open and you're out of the grating that like there's like an energy coming off of this light and heat too. The room feels hot. The light is kind of annoying and it makes it kind of hard to see anything.
Does this affect me at all?
No.
This isn't like white mana or something?
No. The thing about this is you are relatively unaffected by this, which is kind of strange. Like, it's bright and all, but, like, you don't have retinas or corneas, so, like, incredibly bright light doesn't, like, blind you. It might just take a little while for you to adapt to, like, you know. So you can see this a lot better. You can also see that on the inside of the door, which the other two have not noticed, there seems to be some goggles connected.
Goggles?
Goggles.
Probably because of the bright light.
Your friends seem to have not noticed them. I will tell you that.
Likely because of the bright light.
Likely because of the bright light.
Do either of you see the goggles attached to this light?
No, I don't see a lot
I
right
see
now.
blinding light.
It's so very bright.
Well, it looks like it's attached to this.
The door.
Okay, can you hand it to me?
To the door.
Yeah.
Is this something I can grab?
Sure. There's 4 sets of goggles. You
Just
can grab.
probably hanging there.
Yeah, they're just hanging there. You grab 2. Give them off.
I'm gonna be extra cautious. I'm gonna summon my mage hand to grab it for me.
Sure. Picks it up. Takes it to you. You can give it then to each of them.
Yeah, I
Oh.
give it to everyone.
I will
I
put them on.
Don't put them on myself just yet.
Okay.
You don't need to.
They're effectively a lot like sunglasses, I would say. So it cuts through a lot of the brightness.
Or welder's goggles.
Yeah.
They're specialized, like, you know, just tinted goggles, you know. Inside, you can see that the mechanical noise seems to come from some kind of pump system. As it's seemingly, like, pumping, you're guessing maybe liquid from it is, up towards the ceiling. Up in the ceiling, there are these glass bells filled with a kind of, you thinking maybe yellowish liquid, with strange crystalline creatures inside. These creatures are like hooked to all kinds of like tubes and wirings that seem to go up into the ceiling.
This looks inhumane to say the least.
Knowledge something on the creatures?
Sure. Arcana would probably work. Or actually nature if you wanted to.
27.
Okay.
Wow.
You're fairly
I
certain
can't
these
get better than that, so no.
You're fairly certain these are some kind of elementals.
Are these the kind of elementals that are like intelligent and can be imprisoned unwillingly, or are these just like
These
some dipshit
seem
elementals?
these seem probably like minor elementals. They're much more like bestial, natural, like, you know. Unfortunately, not a lot of elementals have higher intelligence. It usually requires a lot. The very powerful ones tend to get that. These
Okay.
seem more like, I wouldn't say they're minor class, but you'd say that they're the lower class that mostly might have like animalistic intelligence.
So they're fine. They're not like being tormented and imprisoned here against their will.
You honestly have no idea what this is doing to them. So, and the thing is, elementals, you're not. I'm going to say, even with a 27, it's one of those things that no one really knows, is like, do they feel like pain and stuff like you because they're made of an element? You know, it's.
Do element have soul?
Yeah, there's a lot of like weird questions that, you know, metaphysically, they're not really experimentally easy to figure out on an elemental. And, you know, well, this kind of hits a boat of like, is this humane? You have no idea. Is this something you could even try to like mess with? Again, it's integrated into whatever system is above there, and a lot of power was being generated. You probably don't have a good idea off the top of your head how to even think about, like, disconnecting these things without compromising anything. Just by looking at it right now. Enough study, maybe.
So this whole, like, investigating the house, finding all this, has learned that I don't actually know as much about artificery as I thought I did. Or if I did, this is just so far out of my fucking league. Basically, I got no idea what I'm looking at here. These are elementals. They're not, like, in pain. I don't know if elementals can feel pain. Nobody really knows that they can feel pain. Or if they're, like, have wills or souls.
What kind of elementals?
You think...
Minor.
You probably... You think, like, it maybe like like an earth, or maybe, like, some kind of unique type of earth. They, like, obviously seem to have, like, a, element of lightning to them. Which is kind of unusual for, like, an earth elemental to have. But you're thinking maybe it's the nature of the crystal that they're kind of made of. They might be a very unique species of elemental that's only in one area, and honestly speaking, you don't know that area, you know? Now, the thing is, Kaz, I'm going to say, like, this is, I think, what you... Because you're smart enough, you think this is probably a new branch of artificery. Maybe like a bio-artificery. Combining mechanical and biological. Something very Phyrexian, but Phyrexian went one path with it. You know that there are other paths for that kind of thing. Like, your replacement of your lungs is a very simple version of this. This is a very complex. Basically combining, like... An elemental is a creature that's made of, like, a combination of mana, an element, and a little bit of something spiritual, probably. And it's attempting to harness this for something, which is, like, kind of outside the normal wheelhouse for artificery.
Oh, I'm getting excited is what's happening.
Yeah, it seems like this is like a new branch of stuff that was being developed. Maybe using some ideas from the Phyrexians. I mean, this just generally, you know, it feels like it's something that if you were studying Phyrexian technology or something similar to, you might create something like this.
I've always wanted to pioneer a field. I'm going to become the first ever, whatever the fuck this is. Well, I guess not the first. Asshole in the basement is the first. I'm going to become the best. While also becoming the best shipwright ever. I'm going to be very good at a lot of things.
But you're already good at a lot of things.
Thank you.
More importantly, what do we do about it?
Deal it.
So,
Aren't these things powering this place?
with your 27, I'll tell you what it seems to be. The pump system seems to be maybe some kind of natural spring kind of pump. It seems to be sending in some kind of liquid base of something into these tubes. You're thinking that's what's sustaining the creatures, allowing them to regenerate from whatever is being taken from them and being taken higher up.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't be easy to steal.
Recreating this entirely would probably be difficult. Not impossible. If you were able to maybe use one of these things, like find and capture one, you could probably make something on a much smaller scale. You're assuming some of the components in the cylinder up top probably is what converts things energy-wise to whatever is being able to use properly in Artifice. Because,
yeah.
the raw power of, like, an elemental is probably not great for a bit of Artifice, you know? Gonna be honest on that one.
Maybe, but imagine the potential for powering a sky ship.
I'm gonna also put this out on limb here. Intelligent elementals would probably not be very happy about you using this stuff here.
Oh, yeah. These are like, they're squirrels or something.
Yeah, well, think of it like maybe like
It's their puppies.
If someone came in, like if another alien race came in and started messing around with chimpanzees, and we're like, we're just messing with chimpanzees, not you, would be like, we're technically closely related to them, and we like them, you know, we're kind of annoyed. That's the kind of same way. They're like lesser kin, and they probably aren't very happy.
So maybe this is like unethical.
There probably is a level of unethicalness, because it's a lot, like, they're just stuck there forever, probably, and that's probably not great.
What if we just... And I know this might be a controversial idea. What if we just let them out?
They might be hostile.
What if we let them go?
Are we sure they're not going to hurt us?
No.
Also, we don't know what happens if the machine just stops working.
There is only one way to find out, isn't there?
We should heavily consider what we do. We wouldn't want this place to flood.
I can breathe underwater. You both can breathe underwater.
Right,
We
but
just need to
water
make sure that
pressure
hang-
is dangerous. Even if we can breathe.
I don't think it's that bad for any of us now that I've undergone weird cybernetic modifications, and one of you's made of goo and the other bones.
Plus, I can turn into a merfolk that can take the pressures.
I can only wonder how strong my bones are.
Well, you've been deep underwater without a pressure suit.
And I've offered to make you metal bones.
I guess I did forget about our underwater adventures. Carry on.
That's where you met your wife.
The honeymoon was closer to my mind.
Okay, I won't turn it off now because Hang and Winterus are upstairs. And they can't breathe underwater.
No. Of course, we can't access this without them.
Why's that?
Because they need to
They
move
created
the
the
earth.
door.
They keep the doors open.
What else is in this room?
This seems to be it. At least the bottom part of it seems to be this area where they're using these things as maybe a catalyst of some kind. Most reactors draw upon the natural mana that's around everything for when they generate energy. Or they're like something like a power stone, which tends to be crystallized amounts of mana engineered into a certain way. Those tend to be the two main ways to produce it. The engines which produce energy tend to be very large. Like a Thran dynamo is quite big. Granted, it will produce usable mana. It will translate the smaller amounts of it that is in the atmosphere to something that could be used. Great. This thing probably combines would probably combine something of the level of a Thran dynamo and enhance it with whatever these things are.
Yeah,
Great.
because wasn't there like a Thran Dynamo-esque thing upstairs?
Yes, some of the components in the main shaft seem very similar in certain ways to the Thran dynamo.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll use that to power the skyship instead of Sparky and the gang over here.
We also have the upper place to check out. That might be another door too.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to remember this place and see about releasing them to do their weird electrical business out in the world.
Whatever we do, we should make sure we have an escape route planned. Just in case things go wrong.
Sure.
Or explosions.
I like that.
I
Not
can't
when
say
we're
I
in
like that.
It was your idea to blow things up one time.
Not when we're in them.
We were approaching the gate at very high speeds when you suggested we explode it.
Yes, but I was hoping the gate would explode before we got there.
It did.
Not
to be
while
fair.
we were there. Yes.
It did explode.
Anyway, should we check upstairs then?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I guess, could you hang these back up?
Oh, I'm keeping mine.
I don't see why we wouldn't keep these goggles. They could be good for other uses.
Sure, then.
What are these things called, Matt?
Goggles. I mean,
Just straight up goggles?
they're not magical. They're just
They're shaded goggles.
They're just
That's-
shaded goggles.
It's just polarized glass.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just, you know, that's exactly what it was. It's just they're simple, like they're sunglasses, effectively. You know, they're probably a very primitive set of sunglasses, but that's what they effectively are.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
I mean, you could. It would be silly, but you seem silly.
To the top floor.
To the top floor. All right. So the top floor has some similarities to the bottom floor. Once you open it and get Hang and Wintress to open it, inside will be a chamber with a ladder leading up. This one's not glowing though.
Oh, no glow up here. What do I see with my eldritch eyes?
All right. This seems artifice up here. So you could make an Arcana check to see if you can judge what's going on up here.
Also, do I see anything magical?
What you see in up here is a series of what seems to be large glass tubes pumping what looks to be water down from above into the base. That's about the best you can judge from this.
Gaz, there's artifice up here.
There's artifice throughout this whole place.
Yeah, well, I don't know it, so you want to look at it?
I mean, yeah.
Alright. Kaz, when you get a look at it, it looks as though it's pumping in seawater or water from above and then pumping out the water again afterwards.
Is it filtered?
You're not sure.
Or maybe liquid cooling system?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've got to keep investigating, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately, without breaking these open and testing what's in the water, it seems as though it's just pumping in seawater and pumping it out. The other thing you could do is you could attempt to find out where on the surface this is, or on the outside this is at. You'd have to probably go up into the dome and just jump into the water and search around.
There's no, like, valves or chambers that on this pump system?
Give me investigation.
Like, look through? Investigation?
Sure.
I'm technically good at that.
Yeah, technically. Technically. Still, you will find something. There does seem to be an area that maybe would be for, like, getting samples of water coming in.
Sure.
Probably for alchemical testing. Maybe? You can only assume that's why we would dig it. Because it's kind of unusual to have an area where you could, like, you know, grab a sample of salt water.
Unless he drinks it.
There's no way to tell the water going out, though. That one doesn't have any kind of way of testing that. That's something you can't find.
I know one way to test this. But Claude, you're not gonna like it.
Where do you want me to squeeze to?
From inside this part where the salt water can come out, and just see what happens.
You want me to go through the system?
I said you weren't going to like it. We don't have to. This is just the one way that I thought of. If I had more time, I might be able to, further examine the system to try to determine something. Fastest way would probably be have you go through the pipes. I'm not going to force you to go through the pipes, though.
Considering we don't know if this goes through anything that's charged.
Yeah, you don't have to go through the pipes. I have that funky plot ability, sense and analyze artifice.
Yeah,
Can I sense and analyze this here artifice?
yeah, definitely. Taking some time and kind of like looking it over and analyzing it, you can certainly tell that this seems to, again, is exactly what you kind of thought it was. It's pumping in salt water into the system, and unfortunately, without testing, you probably couldn't figure out what's necessarily happening in the artifice down below. But it seems to be related to something of the power. The water is needed as part of it, it seems. And then the water is then channeled back up in the center into kind of a center piping that leads, maybe you would guess that once on the surface, probably the area where the water is being pumped out of is probably separated off from the area where the water is coming in at. Where that difference is, how far apart, you don't know.
But it's still likely underwater.
It's most likely underwater. So obviously, like, they're bringing in water from the outside. The water does seem relatively clarified. There's no pieces of junk, no fish, no nothing that seems to be coming in. This is probably
a grate.
some kind of grating. And then the water, after it goes down, is pumped down into the system. It gets pumped back out. You could easily tell that the central pump, it is hotter than it is being pumped in. But is it enough to say it's a cooling system? Maybe. But that might not be the only thing that's happening. Since unfortunately you can't really test the water to see if there's like chemicals that are being drawn out, chemicals that are being taken out, things like that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I can only test the water that would just be seawater.
Yeah, it's just seawater.
And the only problem is, even if I went through the system, I have no way to communicate with you.
I have an orb that maps this ocean floor.
Yes.
Looking at the orb, would I be able to kind of determine the 2 points? Where it's coming in, where it's coming out?
You'd have to probably... If you went up into the dome, because remember I said it's meant to be mounted on the bottom.
What's beneath it? Yeah.
But you could probably mount it at the bottom of the submersible and use the submersible to kind of read it. If you wanted to like take a survey of the area and find it, you could easily do that.
Hypothetically, if I wanted to investigate this more, I have a way to do it. That's a hypothetical. We don't have to. Again, not the main issues with our house do not have to do with this underwater laboratory. This is just additional curiosities.
Yeah, my only concern is if it pumps me out miles away, I have no way to contact you guys.
From everything you've seen, there is something else I will tell you because of your analysis. This might also have something to do with the liquid that was being pumped to the places that was powered. Remember, it was acidic and electrical.
Yeah, I don't want to go through acid and electric again.
I don't either. I remember that's why I'm actually hurt, not because of the sword.
Yeah.
That was earlier today. We should get some sleep.
Sleep would be good.
Well, I don't think there's... Unless we want to check the other 6 passageways that end probably the same way.
Look, this is a lot for one artificer. I'm guessing this whole facility took decades to build and perfect. I'm not going to figure shit out in one night.
The only other thing I could say is we could try some of the other passageways, and I could go into my shadow form to see what's on the other side where they end.
Possibly, look, we could... I say we do it tomorrow. It's getting late, I think. We're very far underwater. I have no idea how late it is. But also, this place would take years of study to understand, and I got shit to do.
Right. Well, no, I meant to just see if there's any places that we haven't found, basically.
Any more, like, secret entrances within the mansion?
Yeah.
Sure, if you so wish.
If you want to check them out, there's two ways you could do it. You could easily have Hang and Wintris open up the tunnels and get you close to where you need to go. Or you could goop along some wires again.
I'm going to ask if they could open up the tunnels, and then I could, like I said, I can go in my shadow form and just, go through the...
You probably aren't really good at traveling through walls and stuff in your shadow form. Remember, your shadow form is mostly incorporeal. It's not like... You're not a ghost. You still have some kind of tangibleness. It's just not the normal tangibleness that other things have. And you interact with, because if you're standing around, you don't fall through the floor, you have to remember.
Right.
Pushing through a wall, depending on how thick it is, you're not sure. You probably haven't... You haven't told me about testing it out, how much of your...
No, I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, so, that's why I'm you're not sure what the result would be.
I'm willing to test it out.
All right. Which, so we'll say...
Not the one that we already opened.
The one that you...
We know where that goes.
The one that which is the one you started with, which would have had back to that. That was probably, we'll say, number 4. Okay?
Okay. So I'll try
from top to bottom. From top to bottom. So you're going to try 3?
Sure.
Sorry. All right. 3 leads on a passageway which goes for quite some distance. You're walking probably 3 times the distance you walked on before.
Why do I think this is going to the zoo?
Eventually it comes to the end of, with a winding passage, of ups and downs that were revealed. You'll get to a point where, again,
you're eaten by
you're
a
at a
T-Rex.
wall.
I'll try to see if I can push through.
Okay. Please.
Following where the wires are going, though,
Yes.
too.
Please roll me a Constitution save.
God, I've been rolling crap tonight.
You are unable to get through the wall. You feel as though it's got a lot of resistance.
Okay,
Whether or not you
goop
can
it
do
is.
it for sure or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Goop it is.
Yeah. Maybe.
You might also just be tired.
Yeah. It has been a long day. You'll goop along the wires and find yourself in a strange room. It's a kind of octagonal room with all these kinds of weird panels with these kind of crystal spheres that seem to be connected to the panels. Kind of circled all around the outside of it. There is, across from where you entered, a kind of ladder in between 2 of these panels. And in the center, there's another one of these kind of strange, crystal spheres that's suspended with a kind of circular central panel around it.
Eldritch Sight. How magical is all this stuff?
Fairly magical, lots of divination.
Okay. Does the ladder go up, you said?
Yes.
Does there seem to be a hatch up there?
Yes.
I will check the hatch out.
It opens up.
Look through.
Seems to be a small room. There is some kind of storeroom, I would kind of describe it as. There's a number of lockers, all kinds of strange equipment and stuff here.
Nothing I recognize there, right?
I mean, some of it looks like it could be related to animals or creatures or something like that. Maybe hunting. There's a big old crossbow here A little larger than you've seen before. Like a net, roping.
Okay, I'll go into the room. Does there seem to be an exit?
There does seem to be an exit. Kind of. It's weird. You can see where there's like an outline of a door, but it just seems flat on the wall. Like you don't see any like easy way of making it move or something. You know, you don't see like it
Is
looks.
there any magic attached to it?
Yeah. There's some like transmutation related to it.
I'm assuming there's no crack or anything that I could...
You do not see a crack on it. You could check it out more if you wanted to investigate it.
Yeah, I'll try. My investigation's trash, though.
You could probably use perception too if you wanted. I'd let either.
I'll do perception. That I'm actually decent with.
Okay.
And with the way I've been rolling... Ah, there we go.
You kind of like will like feel around, like you're gonna kind of like look around closely, and you see something, and it looks like it almost maybe like there's a point which maybe you could press in.
I'll try.
The door kind of, as you press in, you see the edges of the door form, and it slide into the wall, like literally slide out of the way and deeper into the wall, as if it morphed in with the wall.
Okay.
Like magically. And you're in the areas above the zoo. The walkways and the small chambers that kind of crisscross throughout these things.
Can I tell, is there an easy way to get to where I am from the zoo?
Oh yeah. No. This was just a secret door that was in the zoo you never found.
Okay. I will make note of that.
Yeah.
And goop back.
Okay. Alright, so that was number 3.
And make it down the long hall again.
Yep, welcome back.
Welcome, new citizen of the
I
Empire.
found a secret area in the zoo through this. Went to a chamber with lots of crystal spheres.
Okay.
I know how to get there.
Great.
Blah. You want me to continue checking these out today?
Not today. I know that neither of you need sleep, but I need sleep.
I still need to rest. I just don't need to sleep.
Okay, but you also need to do it for half as long as I do, right?
Chilled. I thought
Yes.
That was weird.
Great.
Oh, raid. And I actually hit the unmute. Oh, I accidentally, because I'd left a Twitch page open that I'd stopped watching when we went live. Someone raided. I accidentally muted it because I usually I muted the entire thing. I was like, It's like,
Okay.
get rid of that.
I guess submarine time.
Submarine time. You can head back. Relax. Rest. And why
Yay, long
don't we take our first break then, on your long rest?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, healing.
Drink, snack, bathroom break. Go ahead and do it. And we'll be back in a little bit.
It's funny, isn't it?
Why?
Welcome back as Maz is being tormented by fish.
Hi. Piss
The
wizard.
usual.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
All right. So you can rest up for the evening and head into the next day. Do you want to do more exploration for the next day? Because I can kind of summarize quickly what you would find if, Claude, you want to finish up checking out everything.
Well, if no one else wants to, I could always just go and goop around for a while.
If you want to figure out where everything is, the top floor, power things, leads to the tree dome. That's where the power for that one goes to. Second one down leads to the sub docks. Third one, of course, leads to the zoo area. Fourth one leads to the room where you had the nice demon guy. Fifth one leads to a very ominous-looking room with a certain person in the center of it.
Yeah, I'm getting out of there real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically just trying to see if there's any place that we haven't found.
Sixth one. The sixth one goes over for a while and then makes a 90-degree turn. This is the one that's probably the most interesting because then it goes for probably a quarter of a mile away.
Jesus.
And this is after you're pretty short headed towards the mansion, so the coastline first. You're going to find yourself in a large chamber where it's completely dark. You have dark vision, right?
Yep.
The wires seem to connect it to a system where there's these large, like 10-foot tall cylindrical devices seem to be kind of attached into devices and possibly removed to be stored. There's also something in here. Something big.
Like moving?
No, it isn't
Okay.
moving. It is a Colossus.
Gibbs.
Oh boy.
Are we all in this room, or is it just Claude?
Oh, this is just Claude.
Yeah, I'm
The
looping around.
thing seems to be in a state of either repair or maybe construction or something. But,
Okay,
like,
that's good.
anybody that knows anything about artifice has heard legends of Colossi. They are basically the apex of war machines. They take many forms. Some of them humanoid, some of them bestial. Giant mechanical dragons have been known. This one is vaguely humanoid.
Gibbs.
You don't even know where it is.
This place has seemingly is holding not just this colossi, but a number of various hulks in disrepair. Some of them seem to be more simplistic. Just, maybe a 15-foot tall golem almost. Others seem definitely probably original Phyrexian in make, but it seems as though, this is much more mechanical, though. You don't see any,
still creeps me out a little.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that it's Phyrexian in design, but it's much more mechanical rather than biological. And you do know that they did use mechanical monstrosities also. So, that's what this seems to be. It's like a collection of various construct beasts. None of them seem to be active.
I will
That's
name
good.
him Timothy.
Is there a way out?
Yes. It seems as though there is, a massive set of pulleys, levers, and weights, which you're fairly certain you could probably open up a massive set of doors, which, judging from where it is, you think it might be hidden in the cliffside. Approximately half a mile from your house.
Well, considering this is a large place, if need be, I could probably go to giant form.
Oh yeah, no. Giant form would be easy in here.
Okay.
Your giant is about 20 feet tall. You'd in fact easily be still dwarfed. The colossi is probably maybe, if it would be standing upright, maybe 100 foot tall.
Okay. So, because the reason I was asking, because if I do that, I might be able to open up these doors because I might have enough strength then.
Yeah, it looks as though, like, probably you'd need a source of strength. There might be more to this place than just this, but it's kind of hard to find. Like, you've got a 60-foot vision, and this is a chamber that's maybe, like, 200 feet tall to, like, house a colossi, and, like, probably hundreds of feet in all the different directions. So you're, like, 60-foot cone looking around. It's helpful, but not perfect, because you can't see distance.
I'm going to try to see if we can open this up then.
Mm-hmm.
That way I can bring people back and we can have access then.
You can take on giant form. You can use the pulley system. It seems a little like maybe like rusted or in disrepair. Maybe after a few decades where nothing has maintained it, and there is definitely a little bit of salt in the air that comes through here.
Right.
It's not a perfect seal,
Right.
but you can get it open enough that certainly people can get out. If you want to try to get it out more than that, I would probably need you to start making some strength checks, and that would be,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get it open enough that I can get out, so I can see exactly where this is.
Okay, if you just want to make it for you, then give me a single strength check. I believe your strength is
26, so it's
26?
+8.
It's plus
Yeah,
8,
I already just modified my sheet for a second to...
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Unfortunately, I say it's easy to get that, like, person-sized thing open, but, like, maybe you need, like, some kind of, like, oil or some kind of repairs on it to get any farther than that.
Okay, I'll go back into normal Claud form and walk out.
Yeah, you are up on a cliff face. There is a ledge here. It seems as though, like, this door is, like, hidden in, like, an area of ledge, and you can see that, like, it looks very cliff walls. So, like, unless you got close to this, you probably wouldn't notice. And because this is fairly sheer cliffs, except for this kind of tiny ledge outside here, like right on the outskirts, probably no one comes out here. It doesn't take long from this angle to notice there is a passageway on the outside, which kind of leads to, like, a small, like, area that can be climbed up along it. Relatively
I
easily.
will follow it up and try to get back to the house that way. That way I can actually
you can eventually
guide people back.
get up onto the top of the cliffs and get back to the house pretty easily.
Okay. So now we know the last two areas at least that come off of the electrical.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
For Claude, did Kaz drive you to the underground laboratory for you to do this?
No, I climbed through.
He probably
Wiring.
took the trip through the demon room.
Because I was gonna say Kaz isn't around. Kaz is you left Kaz and the submarine.
No, I don't. I went through the wires. I figured I just probably took my 4 hours of rest that I need and headed back out.
So the rest of us might still be sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I left a note. Well, or actually, no, I probably just went, hey, Max, I'm going to go investigate the other paths. Let the others know if they're looking for me. Since he doesn't need to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you probably just like whispered that to me when I was like meditating, like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing for probably a decent chunk.
Om man and bones, om man and bones, om man and bones. Meditating.
Oni McBonenstein the third.
Anyway. Alright, you can get back to the rest. I mean, this probably took you a while to check everything out.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing stuff in the
They
meantime.
could be awake, I'll say. It's been enough hours, you know. Probably breakfast time. For those that are awake and want breakfast. And aren't sleeping in.
Breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Barry's
Max, have
having
you
a
informed the
vomit
others now that breakfast is occurring that, like, Claude went off, or are you just waiting until someone asks?
How long has he been gone at this point?
Hours?
5, maybe 6.
kill you.
Yeah, I know.
I guess while we're eating. So I don't know if I've told you guys this yet, but Claude is out investigating the what was the name of the thing, Matt?
The other paths that you found.
The
other
electrical
paths.
paths.
Yeah, Claude's out investigating the other electrical paths.
All right, I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll
There
let
are
us know
electrical
whatever.
paths?
Yeah, remember there's the one like wiring path that he took, and that's why we found the underwater laboratory you don't want to go to.
Gonna be honest, I wasn't listening.
It was after you beat the shit out of the demon and chopped him into pieces.
Fun.
There was some more that we found, and they wanted to investigate last night, and I was like, no, I'm tired. So we went back, and then I guess he did it this morning, which is fine.
Personally, I'm okay with leaving those paths to their own devices, but he seems very intent on looking at what's around them.
That makes me a little nervous, because the last time he was intent on finding out about things, we unlocked all the doors in the house, and we all know how that's gone for us so far.
Yeah, perhaps some things are best left unopened.
Yeah, you should have stopped him.
I was tired. He told me while I was meditating.
Claude shows up.
Having a trance. I was also spending time with my wife. It was kind of rude that he interrupted me during that.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Did
Oh,
you find
Claude, you're
anything-
back.
Did you find anything fun?
I learned what path not to follow.
Good.
Pray tell.
Because one leads to the guy in the basement. So I
Path
quickly
happy?
skedaddled back out of that one. But I think I found something you might be interested in, Kaz.
Well, do tell.
Colossus mechanical men.
Okay, you're right. I am interested in this Colossus mechanical man. I'm very interested in Colossus.
But we
there's
already
at
have
least
Alatar.
one- there's at
Alatar's
least
like
one-
6-7 feet tall.
Yeah, these are
He's taller
taller.
than us, isn't he?
These are taller than me in giant form.
Oh.
He's big. He's very big.
Are these colossal men friendly?
They are inactive at the moment. It looks like they're in various states of repair.
How many?
I didn't get a total inventory. It was completely dark in there.
How do we know
But
they
there's
won't
at
come to
least
life and try to
one
kill us?
that's really, really, really big, and several other ones that are pretty big mechanical horrors that I'm pretty sure are Phyrexian in nature.
Like the one that was in our house and we killed?
Yes.
Well, not cool. Well, kind of cool.
So, Kazran, you remember that talk about Les leaving some options unopened?
Look, yeah, okay, I know I said that like a minute ago, but that was before I learned about the 100-foot-tall metal man.
Perhaps those are also weapons of mass destruction that we shouldn't be dealing with?
Yeah, no, for sure. On the other hand, 100-foot-tall mechanical man.
I would rather both of your curiosities not lead to the world ending.
No, yeah, I get it. But consider 100-foot-tall mechanical man.
I look
Hey,
at Carrion. Can you talk some
hey,
sense into
Kaz?
them?
Yeah.
Kaz, if you want the big mechanical man, I get to go talk to the bitch in the basement.
Damn it.
Also, Carrie, I don't think you know because we found it. Yes, this is the last room I found last night. There's also a hidden room in the zoo.
I'm pretty sure there are hidden rooms all over this place that we just have neglected to find.
It's full of crystal spheres.
Are they breakable?
They valuable.
I don't know if they're magical. I don't know if you'd want to break them. I think they probably have something to do with controlling the zoo.
But chaos.
fact-
Okay, but
In
I know
fact,
you, and you
you're-
don't want to hurt all the animals.
That's true.
And Kaz's teacher might have an idea about them, maybe.
I did guilt him a little bit into maybe coming down here and being like an adult, like acting like an adult, like he is. I don't know if it
Some of
would.
us are adults.
He's like, I think, immortal. And
We
I
seem
tried
to
to
run into those.
Yeah, we do. Which is weird for someone with as short of a lifespan as me.
You're gonna live forever, I thought.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to live as long as I can, but like natural lifespan wise, I got like maybe 15 more years. Nah, like 25 more years.
It'll certainly be a lot less if we use those tools of mass destruction.
Unless we become the weapons of mass destruction.
I'd rather not start a tyrannical dictatorship, especially
didn't
after
say
getting
that.
married.
Well,
I didn't say that.
may I make a suggestion? We have an intelligent friend who is like these things.
Alatar?
Not Alatar.
Cord.
Kor.
Karn.
Karn, yes, Karn. He might be able to give us insight if we should mess with these things or not.
Why can't we just leave them alone?
Because what fun
Well,
would that be?
I also left the area open for us to be able to get back in.
The shortcut that leads from the owner's basement into that
No.
place?
There's no shortcut. You can't follow the wires like I can. I left the big door open. That's on the cliff face.
When are we going to interrogate the owner, by the way? That seemed to be a pretty big plan on the agenda, no?
Okay,
Ow.
okay, look.
I don't think we can have a talk with him.
I thought
I
we
don't
wanted to
think
get
we
the Weatherlight crew to talk to him.
Yeah, I don't think we should do it alone. I think if we have a conversation with Weird Man in basement, we do it with others around, so that we're not held accountable when things go wrong.
Fair. I feel if anything, one of the Weatherlight crew should be the representative of it.
And for accountability purposes, plausible deniability.
That too. After all, we're
And
just some people who
protection.
bought the house.
Yeah, we didn't know there was a creepy man in the basement.
Yeah.
Like we should
Also-
have.
It
So-
wasn't listed in the title deed. They didn't know.
I don't
Do
know.
we still
if-
have this deed?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
May I inspect it quickly?
I mean, honestly, like it's not
Sure.
probably not a
Yeah,
copy of
just-
the.
Record
I
keeping.
can't hear you.
Yeah, you're okay.
Ah.
I had that weapon once before. Weirdly enough, something with turning off my fan. Don't ask me.
Okay.
It doesn't
Could
want
be
you
could
to
be
hot.
auto sensitivity.
But because it's one of the same surge protector. So maybe that's why, like, just the weird, like, power fluctuation on the same surge protector as the computer.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just-
I don't know. Anyway, I was going to say something before we were interrupted. You
About
were-
the deed. He
Okay.
was asking about
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
deed.
I was going to say, you technically have a copy of the deed. The original deed was probably somewhere in the household and never found. When the guy was found dead, the house defaulted back to the original owners of the territory, which was the town that was nearby. Who's the only people that have influence over it.
Yes. As I said to Joda, he defaulted on the house. We bought the house. Legally, it's ours.
Matt, did I find that out by reading it, or was that just like a random fact about the house?
That's what you learned about once you learned that there was a guy murdered in it?
Yeah, they told us about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
Well, this is all news to me because I kind of just walked back and we had a house.
technically, he wasn't murdered in it. He just lost his eyes and tongue.
That's all they found of him.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see the deed?
Sure. It's a very
Can I
simple
inspect
deed.
it? Is there anything of note that like my
Honestly
merchant
speaking,
skills can see?
it's a sure. It's a very
Okay.
simple deed. It's obviously like kind of not the original, you don't think? As it seems to be drafted up by... It doesn't have the original owner's name on it. It seems to be like... It seems to be that it's looked over by 2 people. Most likely the head of the village back when this deed was drawn up. And the head of the Solarian Academy at that time. And this was a couple decades ago. So the previous... So, like, the previous head of the Solarian Academy, which you think from your knowledge of the Academy and spending time there, was probably the one before the current one. The current dean. And the village head, probably, like, 2 village heads ago, kind of thing. You know, like, usually, like, someone that's, like an elder of the village is kind of elected the head of it in the small village nearby. You know, they usually just have someone to be representative when it comes to... Because, again, most of these small villages and towns on the islands are there to support the academy. So they're kind of like... They're technically beholden to the academy, and the academy is technically the government of this area. Ish. But they don't really, like, do things like collect a lot of taxes and stuff, like normal taxes. It's complex, you know, and it's simple, I should really say. The towns are very self-governing. But in this case, it seems as though because this building was built under the preview of this town, what you can guess from it is, guy was found dead. Original dean couldn't be found. Going to the head of the Tolarian Academy, which again, kind of owns the island, technically, they basically reissued a new deed. So, if legally you want to say, this is a newer deed, but because you do not know the necessarily laws of this area, and the laws of this area, even if you knew about them, were kind of loose, you're not sure if the guy would have any legal precedent. I mean, a lot of the stuff he's done might ruin his legal precedence chances and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he's a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Which gets me to a point I wanted to make. There's power going to his room.
Fuck.
To the owner's room?
Yeah.
I
followed the wires there.
Kaz, I'm gonna say at this point in time.
already...
Oh, sorry. That we
Yeah.
No, you go, Matt.
I was gonna say, you probably assumed most likely the power is what was maintaining him when he was unconscious. You do not know if he still needs it. He might not at this point in time.
I don't know, though, if we want to try to cut it or anything.
It might not do anything.
Or he might be able to use it to do something.
If we turn it off, it might also release, like, some locks. So, I say we don't turn it off yet. Also, don't really know how. The last time we turned off the power was violently and it hurt.
True. Just wanted to throw it out there, though, that there's power going to that room.
Yes, there
good
is
to
power
know.
going there.
Again, it's like one of those things is, you judged that there were 6 sources of power going out. Each one had like a like letters representing it. The problem is you'd have to guess which one is the correct one, and like hope it doesn't mess with stuff to remove the power to other ones. Like, you know, you could play around with that. It's possible.
So that's what I discovered.
Or we sell the house to some unsuspecting sap, leave with the cash, get out of Dodge, and that's just insurance fraud, baby. No problems.
Or we see if the Academy wants to buy it off of us to study.
Or burn it to the ground.
Or burn it to the ground.
Can we
Probably
burn
would
it
be
to
the safest
ground?
option. Well,
That-
maybe not environmentally safe, but safe to not unleash the horrors of the world.
Man, the environment of Dominaria is already so goddamn fucked.
It's not doing great.
Considering, like, the Colossus place is, like, what was it? A mile and a half?
Like half a mile. Half a mile. Like.
Or half a mile. I'm sorry. Half a mile away?
That's not technically
We're not
covered
gonna-
in our deed.
We're not going to be able to burn everything to the ground.
The other thing is, you're not, like, because you have a copy of the deed, and the copy just seems to be pertaining to the house and its areas, you actually do not know how much territory the man originally owned. He could have actually had a lot bigger of an area he purchased, and only built in this one area, and that could include the place where there is the Colossi.
We should tell the people at the academy about the Colossi. God damn it, that hurt to say.
Well, we could also have Karn look at them first.
Sure, yes. Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, they could be in such disrepair that can never be fixed.
Oh, don't say that. You're gonna make me sad.
Well,
joke.
if that's the case, though, then they don't pose a threat.
Karen, what are your thoughts on pyrotechnics for this establishment?
Burn it.
I
That
agree.
also might not get rid of the owner, and he might just be really pissed at us then.
Well, that's
Then
why
I
we
can
deal with
fight
the
him.
owner first, before burning this place to the ground.
Okay, let's
Or
go.
that.
Let's find out who's the strongest.
I'm
folks
surprised we're
among-
agreeing for once.
I also am.
I mean, you advocated for violence. Of course I'm gonna be a fan.
Fair point.
Okay, let's get the strongest people of the ones who are staying in this terrible, horrible house. Have them come down with us to talk with Mr. Dul, Mr. Delmar-Dul. Ask him some questions. Maybe kill him. And then, I don't know, leave to never return.
I agree. We've been here long enough.
But my sunroom.
We can buy you
You
another
were just
house.
wait, you were just
You're just
advocating for
burning
burning
the
it
house.
down.
Including
Well-
your sunroom.
To be fair, it didn't occur to me until just now what I was advocating for.
You just heard
Because I
burn and
don't
were on
think
board, huh?
I don't think about the consequences of my actions. This shouldn't surprise you at this point.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Carrion,
fact,
I
it's
promise you we can
infuriating.
get a much better place. And I will make sure of that.
And it will be
Well, I'm-
flying and sick and rad as hell.
I'm taking some of my fucking furnishings at the very least.
You can take anything you
I
want.
put a lot of work into that room. I hope you know that.
I don't think I've seen this room. Where is it?
I don't think you're allowed in
Of course
this
you
room.
haven't. Why would you be allowed in my room?
Fair, but we also live in the same house together, technically.
Well,
It's a big
seen it
house.
when we first moved in. Before she
But I haven't
claimed
seen it
the
since she
sunroom.
cleaned it up.
Yes.
I'm sorry for
have-
caring about my friend's renovations. Despite my mishaps, I do still care about my friends.
Okay, let's...
Friends is a bit of a strong
Look,
word.
before we all get in another fist fight that Maxwell loses, let's go find the strongest people around and go threaten the man in our basement.
We also want to let
I
Karn know
threaten the
about
man in our basement?
Colossi.
Yes, and we also let Karn know about the Colossi.
Oh, Carrion, believe me, you'll be the first out of any of us to intimidate the man.
I don't think I'll intimidate him, but I do want to punch him in the face.
Let's use that as a last resort, shall we?
Why is that not the first resort?
Because
Because his
he
magic might be stronger than yours?
Yeah, he might kill you, and again, I don't want you to die.
I could just go big demon.
No, you don't
Then
want
we would need
do
to
that.
evacuate the room.
You know, I know you don't want to do that.
And I don't think you'd want a repeat of that, given that you've almost killed all of us last time. Including Wintress.
And, yeah, no, yeah. Look, let's just fucking do this instead of talking about it.
I'm in favor.
Great. Let's go, because they've been doing a lot of talking and not a lot of action. So we should go guilt trip them into doing action.
So you're going to the Gatewatch?
We're going to everyone.
Yeah, we're getting like everyone in it who can feasibly help us in on this.
If you would go to the Weatherlight crew, they will inform you. Like a Joyra will inform you that they have plans to make sail in the next couple of days. Their part seems to have taken place. They've helped out where they can. They're going to follow up on some of the information you provided them, and that was provided at the college. They're going to be looking into some things to help out.
Great. Are you gonna help us with this now, though?
I think Jace and their group are going to be assisting you. Sounds like they've been making a plan.
Okay. Right.
Good travels then.
Well, we've got a few more days before we're going to head out. We're just waiting for some materials to come in from the college. And then we'll be departing.
All right,
Is
let's
Karn
go find.
around?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where's Karn?
I pull one of them aside. So, did they say yes to this?
Maybe. Not them exactly. The other weird people.
I thought we were going to get the whole crew to help us.
Yeah, we're trying. They got other shit. Also, apparently, the weird people have been making plans to deal with this person. They didn't tell me about it. I don't know if they told any of you.
They didn't tell me either.
God fucking damn it.
Is Karn around?
Yeah, he's hanging out just in the main hall right now. It seems like he's waiting around for something. Probably for some of the other members of the folks to show up.
Karn,
Yes.
I found a large area that have some Colossus and possibly Phyrexian horrors.
Show me.
Glad to. Guys, go figure out the plan with everyone else. I'm going to show Karn where this is located quickly.
Okay.
Rude.
Might be useful to at least know if they're a threat.
Okay.
Just saying rude. Okay.
So what's
Don't
the
do
plan?
anything
Who else can we
without
talk
me.
to?
They said Jace is making a plan. Jace is the blue one. He's not
Perhaps-
actually blue. He just wears a lot of blue.
Perhaps we should look for him.
You can find him and the rest of them currently assembling in the dining room. They've been using your dining room for a lot of stuff. Honestly speaking, they keep assembling there.
Jace's Avengers, assemble.
Really kind of
Hans
are.
is gonna walk in and like kind of knock, go, hey, knock, knock. Listen. So that man in the basement.
Yes. We were discussing things about that just recently with the Talarian Academy. Because he's a former wizard of the Academy, and though there is some damning evidence, none of it is exactly we can't determine how terrible the actions he's done are. Because of his nature, and he's already technically imprisoned, we were having a discussion on this, that killing a prisoner is something that I believe none of us were really, well, almost none of us were safe for. As a group talking with the Academy, we've decided that we wish to re-imprison him at some place that seems a little bit more appropriate for him. So we're planning on disabling him and moving him. We have a plan for it.
Okay, what is it?
Yeah, pray tell.
You want to be involved?
Well, it is our house.
And we would like him to be evicted, given that he's living here rent-free.
Yeah, he's not even paying rent. This is another joke.
I just like to be involved in things.
Gideon just likes to be involved.
Well,
And ideally, we would like this to be soon.
we were going to use a combination of a few of our magics in order to distract him. My specialty is messing around with folks. I best be described as a mind mage. I was planning on trapping him in some kind of illusion in his own mind. I've been probing with my abilities that I think I can do that. He has enough of a living mind that it can. It doesn't seem like whatever has caused him, he's not fully a construct or fully undead, whatever he's done to himself. I'm not quite...
Maxwell can help with that. He's done things like that before.
I
Usually
can
gets us
certainly
into
try.
trouble.
Yeah, usually. I don't suppose this is a skill that you could perhaps teach me to do as well, could you?
Teaching one to master and look into the minds of others is not always easy. But I might be able to give us some advice and some teaching. I do respect those that dive into the art of it. Not all do. Then between Ajani and Nisa, we were going to bind him up. And then we were going to escort him using your cart, which we were going to ask if we could borrow. We hadn't gotten to that part. In order to get him to the college.
Anything to get this man out of our home.
Should we? Well, he also has answers that I think we all are interested in.
That's something we'd like to do first before sending him away to imprisonment.
Perhaps imprisoning.
You know.
Currently, he's just imprisoned in a room that he's been sealed in. I think the idea would be to imprison him in a place where he could be kept a little bit more chained up, controlled, and then maybe then we can inquire with him. Or you can inquire with him if you wish to.
Alright, give me some time to figure out the right spells that I want. There's what's definitely going to be one hell of a fight. I know we're hoping it's not going to be a fight, but it's going to be a fight.
I look toward the others and say, what's the consensus? Do we want to try to ask him questions now or when he's transported over there, assuming that works?
A prison's a prison. We can ask him wherever. I'm fine either way.
We should
I'm
try
not
sooner
bold.
then.
Why sooner?
Well, at least we have the Weatherlight crew here to help back us up. And we are
I don't
familiar
think
with
the
the layout of the
Weatherlight's-
house.
I don't think the Weatherlight's going to be doing anything. We're dealing with these people who are their own thing, and they're kind of secretive about it. Or at least they haven't told me.
Question, Jace. If we choose to interrogate the owner here, would you be able to stand guard and protect us if need be?
We could attempt our best to look after you and assist you, but we don't know much about the man and his abilities. That's why we were hoping to, at this point in time, effectively knock him out, bind him away, capture him quickly.
That might be a good idea. Interrogate him at the college. In a more controlled environment.
Assuming it works.
There's a lot of assumptions.
I mean, yeah, of course.
I can find out if we need to even open up the door. The thing is, my probes and my attempts to influence his mind, I know when someone is influenced. Whether or not it's as deep as we want it to be will be the question. And I can try to let you know about that.
Sounds acceptable.
Alright.
Okay.
It's the worst that can happen.
Don't. Why the
Don't
fuck would
say
you
that.
say that?
Don't say
Why
that.
the hell would you ask that? You know it never goes well. We're all gonna die now.
For all we
I
know,
can
this
only
guy's
bring-
stronger than the witch.
I can only bring 2 people back to life. 2. Not myself either.
I'm a bit too far gone for that to work.
We don't know that because we've never tried.
He's already undead. There is that.
I don't think
And
there's
maybe
any
I can
coming back
return
for
him
me.
to unlife. Who the fuck knows? All I'm saying is, why the hell would you ask what could possibly go wrong? Because that's what's going to go wrong.
Because
Is
I
I'm
like to
going
sow
to die.
chaos. I thought we
It's
went
very,
over
very
this.
fitting for you, Carrion.
Teferi will actually kind of snicker and kind of shake his head and he's like, we will expect things to go wrong, but it is not when things go wrong. It is when you make decisions after it's gone wrong that fix the issues.
I cause problems. I don't fix things.
No, I fix her fucking problems.
Yeah.
I also cause problems.
Yeah, and I
Many of
fucking
them, in
fix
fact.
those
Yes, you
too.
do.
Yeah, hi, I'm the one who fixes everyone's shit.
If all
That's
else
why you're the
fails,
artificer and I'm the big buff one.
if all else fails, that is why I am still here too. My time magics may be able to temporarily remove him from time, enough to at least set up bindings or something from him if he resists what we have. Extra bindings.
That kind of magic exists in this world?
I am probably the most powerful of all time mages. Time magic does exist.
Is that something anyone can learn?
Any magic is anything anybody can learn. It just depends on what you specialize in.
Well, I can make people move really fast. That should be some form of chronomancy, no?
Look, if you write a book about it, I'd love to read it.
I would like to as well.
Causing haste within another is a lower form of chronomancy, yes. It is one of the basics of it.
Hey, you're basic.
The opposite
take what I
be
can
said-
get.
The opposite is also there, slowing one down.
I didn't know that also was a form of chronomancy.
They are very basic abilities within the tree of chronomancy.
Basic.
You're better than this, Carrion.
No, I'm not. What the fuck are you talking about?
So I assume you'll let us know when the time has come to bind and move him?
Jace will kind of speak up. With where we're going, we were thinking that perhaps we would attempt this tomorrow morning. The college should have everything set up. They've been working on a specialized cell for the last couple of days. Installing appropriate magic dampening and anti-magic fields in it, setting up appropriately useful bindings, things like that. We don't know the exact nature of all the enhancements he's given himself, but it's obvious that he's quite dangerous. Again, since he is already a prisoner, I'm sure you agree with us that killing a prisoner, it's not something I'd rather not do. If it wasn't necessary.
I'm not sure how the rest of us feel about that.
I don't want to kill a prisoner. If he tries to kill my friends, that's different. That's self-defense.
Agree.
Carrion, do you have any input on this?
Listen, I just want to punch the guy in the face because he's a smug prick. Yeah,
I
not so
support that.
sure.
The giant cat man, Johnny, will be like, respectable. Look, a Johnny sometimes just wants to punch something in the face.
Can't blame him.
He punched a big old dragon in the face.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose
I
I'm neutral on the matter. I don't know enough about his backstory, but he seems to be quite villainous in nature, and I don't think he should be in this house any longer.
He did unethical experiments.
He's a
True.
bitch.
His main power source is captured elementals.
And he's a bitch.
That too.
Nisa's gonna perk up when you mention the captured elementals. Really?
Yeah, we found them in the underwater lab.
Is there a way to free them from their captivity?
Possibly. I don't know how well that would go without damaging this whole place, and I don't know the fallout that would cause. It's possible that, well, so there's a massive underground zoo with a lot of animals that are all being kept alive by the power.
I understand
I don't
what
want
you're saying.
them all to die.
I am very sad that things have been set up in such a way that it's very hard to make these choices. But since this is your location and your household, I will not interject in this case. I would hopefully say that perhaps you could find a way to transport these animals to someplace safer and then be able to remove the elementals from it as best bet, but...
Oh, no, for sure. I think, like, here's the thing. I think it's possible to set literally every part of this house right. I'll be dead by the time that happens, but it is possible. It will just take much longer than we have.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
In the meantime, Karn and Claud will find their way to the, basically, like, mecha storage, you know?
Mech storage.
Kinda. It's giant, like, golems and colossi. Fascinating. These are a number of, ancient colossi collected from across the ages. This one is obviously Phyrexian in nature, but it is not from during the war. This dates back much older.
Is there any threat that you believe these things can pose?
None of them seem active right now. From what I can tell...
What about...
those things over there, the strange cylinders?
Yes.
They seem to be power sources. I think he's creating something akin to a power stone, much larger in size. It seems a similar shape to the cylindrical device we saw down under the water, except much smaller in nature. Perhaps it's made to store energy and then power these things. It seems none of them are currently powered, at very least. The massive colossi, I'm actually... It seems to be the initial skeletal structures of it. The initial base of the colossi seems to be based upon Sardian design. Though it seems as though he was attempting to enhance it or rebuild it with parts and components from a number of larger and other colossi. Perhaps building his own. For what purpose, I cannot speculate. A weapon like that would be indeed powerful if one wanted to declare war on any one nation. Though a colossus like that would certainly fail if it wasn't for if in most situations. If the mages of Talaria were aware of it, or had enough time to prepare, they could easily, with enough spells, destroy something like this on its own. Even the number here would probably be no threat. There are enough very powerful mages there, at very least.
What also concerns me is we've already had a theft from the house.
The amount of time that this thing would take to become operational is unknown to me. I would have to study it more, or other artificers might have to study it more to see its uses. I am disturbed that he has a number of Phyrexian components here that he was studying, but they are, of Phyrexian components, probably the least harmful. Phyrexian artifice, as twisted as it is still artifice. It does not usually involve, oil the same way that some of its organic creatures do. Semi-organic.
So in its current state, the current state of this place, there's no direct threat.
None that I am aware of, just by viewing quickly. If I would investigate each individually, I could attempt to see if there is any spark of energy or life left within them. But on a quick glance, as you would say, no, none of them are active.
And I will talk to Kaz and see if maybe we should alert the Academy about this.
I would recommend at very least doing more to secure this site. This thing would be very difficult to transport, is the only fortunate thing. And it seems to be in the most repair out of all the devices. Though, it is obvious it still needs some work. Perhaps with these power sources, it could be activated. Though I do believe that if it was activated in this state, it would be in a weakened state. Perhaps enough to move, and still to be quite a threat. It is a massive Colossus. But whatever armor, defenses, abilities it was supposed to be made with, they have not been seemingly installed. Or added.
Understood.
Alright, you can head back.
Thank you for looking. Yeah.
Okay, why don't we take our second break here then, as you head back to meet up with everybody else and let them know what Karn has said about the giant colossi and the collection of them. So if you need a drink, snack, bathroom break, go ahead and do that, and we'll be back in a little bit. We'll talk about cheese later. Is everybody moving then? I know I'm moving.
I'm moving.
I'm just eating ice cream.
I'm just gonna do like this.
Should be moving. And
No.
also, researching cheese.
Turn everybody on.
She's searching.
Switch back over here for me. I'm working. Oh hey, I got everybody working again. Cool. I just knew like during the break I accidentally minimized Discord and that messes up everything when I do that, and I'm like, frick.
Oh.
Anyway, welcome back. Now that we got that, and we were talking about cheese on break. Claude and Karn will meet up with the rest back at the house. Are you informing them of anything about your discoveries?
Yes. They largely seem inactive. There are possible batteries that could be charged to activate them. But they're also fixer-uppers.
Okay, so we'll keep them in the reservation as like, look, if we decide that we need Colossus to fight some big threat or because we think it'll be really cool, then we know where to find them.
My only concern is we have been stolen from here before.
God damn it, we need to close the door then.
Get a look.
I mean, I could probably close it the way it was, but that doesn't guarantee someone couldn't find it.
Okay. We'll just start there with closing it.
That can be done. You can repeat what you did, close it up,
Okay.
head back through the wiring, and it'll be like a little bit of a longer route, but eventually it doesn't take forever to get back, and you'll be able to meet up with everybody. But you can close it up.
I'll work on that.
Okay.
What's the and I guess you guys will catch me up on the plan for tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna do decisions.
Okay.
No, we're gonna leave you in the dark.
All right. So I assume we want to switch to tomorrow and try to transport this man?
Can he really be
Yeah.
called a man?
Whose man's is this?
Not mine.
I mean, we
Okay.
can give him and give him the cast.
That's an interesting roll. Let's just check something here. Okay.
I don't know if I like that.
So, you'll all
Probably
head
not.
downstairs to outside of the room, where things have been kind of like watched after, guarded, kind of sealed away. It'll start with Jace kind of seemingly using some abilities and probing into the room. After about 10 minutes, he'll be like, "Alright, I think we're good to open the door. I'm not sure how long I can necessarily keep his mind occupied, but he should be disabled for now."
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready for violence.
You want me to open it?
Sure.
I'll open the door.
Inside, of course, is the strange chamber, which seems to be all consolidated around this one man in the chair. He seems to be kind of almost like slumped over on himself now. Where when you initially saw it, he was kind of like back in the chair. He's now kind of slumped over, and some things that are seemingly like attached to his back from the room seem to be what's holding him up right now.
So now what?
The group will kind of travel over to him, where Karn will quickly begin to disattach him, as Nisa is going to like summon forth vines out of nowhere to bind him up, effectively.
Sexy.
Mm-hmm. A Johnny will seemingly cast some kind of magic that will kind of, indeed, like, bind him with, like, wraps of, like, light.
Good. How do we move him?
Pick him up!
Alright, Carrion. You're the strongest. Don't punch him yet.
I like the use of the word yet.
I'll know you're gonna punch him later. I'm not an idiot.
A Johnny will assist you. He's pretty big and muscular. So, like, each of you will have a piece of him. So, like, one of you's holding up his top half, the other's holding up his legs. As you're gonna very unceremoniously walk him through the house. Let me put it this way. I rolled a save with disadvantage for him. He got a 6 on his disadvantage. So, I mean, like, he failed pretty miserably. His wisdom save.
I'm not, like, keeping calm at all, though. I'm, like, ready with my gun, ready to shoot his ass if he, like, seems like he's about to do shit.
Oh yeah, I'm keeping a strict eye on him too. I guess load him to the cart.
Yeah, you can load him to the cart. Getting a better look at him, you can definitely tell, like, he's so strange. Like, parts of his face still look like they could be alive. Other portions of it seem, like, shriveled up. His eyes are, well, seemingly mechanical in nature now. Completely. Large portions of his entire body seem to just be replaced. Other portions seem preserved, and, like, it's just such a strange amalgam.
Does he actually have a tongue?
You
Of
don't
any sort.
know. Do you want to open his mouth and see?
Part of me does, but part of me does not. Part of me wonders if he has a tongue similar to Max.
Man. Okay, honestly speaking, after this series of rolls, because I was giving him more saves to overcome things, yeah, no, you'll get him there fine. There's no issues. I gave it he get to make a couple more saves, and same with disadvantage, he got a 7 and a 3. Yeah. There are no issues in transporting him. You can get him to his cell in the Talarian Academy, down in the area where they deal with issues that they showed Kaz, you know?
Yeah, where I released a weapon of mass destruction.
Yep.
And a fuck ton of oil.
They've developed a kind of specialized cell down there. With a combination of an anti-magic field and mana dampening technology, to try to like just make the room as much energyless as possible for anybody. You know, that would be
A clean room.
Yeah. So theoretically, he can't do anything.
He's Magneto.
Yeah.
Yeah, bitch.
Granted, nothing is perfect, so... And the thing
Again, he's Magneto.
is, because of his own natures, which they can't suppress necessarily, like, artifact creatures, once they have like a spark of life, are very hard to suppress, even with any kind of things. Same with undead. So, because some of his nature are both artifice and undead, it means it's very hard to necessarily suppress him completely. So, there's still going to be some guards on duty at all times to kind of watch things and pay attention to things. And he is going to be kind of like bound up.
Is it a cell that we can still communicate
Oh,
to?
sure. You can go in the room with him. Honestly, though, Claude, you feel lethargic in the room. Like, you have a tough time keeping yourself together for a little bit. Like, when you first hit it. You know, it was sort of like a, you know, like, almost like, whatever form you were in, like, your face kind of melted a little bit for a second before you kind of, like, sucked it back in kind of thing of, like, you know, like, as, like, things just got, like, a little bit too, like, oh, God. And Maxwell, you kind of feel it, too. You just kind of felt, like, out of it for, like, a little bit. The room is suppressing, and... Since both of you are more magical in nature, unfortunately, the suppressing does affect you too.
Also the most charismatic people in the party.
True.
Carrie,
I'm charismatic with my fists.
Carrie, for some reason,
Me?
when you're in this room, you feel chipper. Perhaps it's because this demonic influence over your soul is kind of suppressed slightly when you're in this room.
You don't need to smoke weed in here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, chill.
It's just naturally you don't have this, like, kind of darkness just over your mind the entire time. Like, this place is kind of nice.
Kaz, I have a new addiction.
This
Oh,
room.
God.
This room.
Why? No.
I don't feel darkness.
Okay, you're freaking me out. Go out of this room. Go back to
Why am I
being
freaking you out?
weird and menacing. That's what I'm used to.
Maybe I don't want to be menacing all the time.
Okay,
Maybe I
look,
wanna be a
I'll
person.
support you no matter what decision you make, but also you can't just be in the room with creepy McFuckface over here.
Oh, I still want to punch him in the face, but that's more of a me thing than a demon thing.
Okay, now that's better.
And we rouse him.
Sure.
I look at Chase.
Jace just ends his concentration that he's been holding up the entire time, and, like, he'll wake up shortly.
Carry him, punch him in the face.
Punch him in the face.
Okay, make an attack roll. You have advantage.
Wait, he's still bound, right?
Oh yeah, he is bound up.
Okay. Yeah, now you can punch him in the face.
Arms, legs bound up. He's kind of like sitting in like a chair. He's kind of got his arms kind of bound behind him. His legs kind of attached to like a chair. His body kind of harnessed to like they've certainly bound him up in this room so that he cannot move as much as possible.
Did I just make a strength check? Because I don't actually have proficiency with my fists.
Yeah, just roll strength with advantage then.
That didn't. Why didn't it work?
I don't
I'll
know.
just
Just
roll
roll it
another
again. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you hit him. Ow! You didn't really expect like metal skeleton.
I'm gonna punch him again.
A Johnny will kind of like put his hand on like your shoulder as you go to punch him again and be like, perhaps one is enough until you would communicate with him.
Aw.
Well, while we wait for him to rouse, what do we want to ask him?
Why are you
I
such
want-
a bitch?
As you see, like part of Kaz or Claude's face just kind of droop a little bit for a second.
I want to ask him about. Sorry, I could hear my roommate shouting. I'd like to ask him about his interdimensional gate thing, and I think these people also want to ask him about the interdimensional gate thing.
Is there anything else?
Where he learned to do all this weird artificery?
You certainly will have to try to question him. Though I was able to trap his mind in illusion, I was unable to probe him for any kind of information. It seems his nature makes it very difficult to read him. Not that I didn't try.
Understood.
Alright. He'll wake up in a little bit. So. Trickery. Strange.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd be in a place like this. Who really are you?
Dipshits that bought your house.
So, I'm guessing the servants abandoned me. Left me to rot.
Robbed you blind, I believe, is how we found the place.
All they found of you was your tongue and eyes.
Bitch.
Surprised they found even that.
As he's talking, can I make a perception check to see if I can see if he has a tongue?
Sure.
I'm just curious.
You're so obsessed with his tongue.
He's got one.
Does it look like flesh and blood, or
It looks discolored and like a dark red or maybe blackish color. It's not a normal tongue for sure, and it's not, that's all you can see from just speaking.
okay? I just wanted to see if he had a similar tongue to
I guess.
Maxwell.
Yeah. No, he does
That's
not.
mainly what it was. Like,
He does
you
not.
know.
No. Oh, he does not have a similar tongue to Maxwell at all. He would not have
I think
that
you were interested in
technology.
his tongue for different reasons.
no.
Well, what do you want with me, thieves? You've obviously imprisoned me somewhere. The
Again?
academy?
Not thieves. Legally, we bought the land.
Did you have the deed? Where did you bring it out from?
We have a deed.
Let me guess. Abandoned my land, forgot about it, said to someone in the town, "Oh, he's disappeared mysteriously, gone forever. So they sell off my place, you bastards."
Look, I don't know. We just showed up, said we were interested in buying a house, and bought it for a steal.
It wasn't disarray.
And you did default on it, technically.
Default?
Like a bitch.
Default on what?
The land. That's how that works. I think foreclosed, technically.
Foreclosed? But I owned the land. I paid to no one. I bought it legally.
Well, so did we, now. Look, I'll be honest. I don't know how real estate works. That's not my area of expertise.
Anyway, more important things.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to try a persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us about the gateway?
Why should I tell you anything? I'm obviously a prisoner. Obviously you fear what I've become. I can sense it in all of you, even without any kind of magic or ability. All of you. All watching me intently, ready to try to strike down a bound man.
I'm just watching you because you're ugly as shit.
I'm not afraid of anything, even
It's
death.
true. She's not.
I just
that
don't-
makes me nervous.
And I just don't trust Phyrexian technology.
Aren't you Phyrex? Never mind.
Exactly why I don't trust it. Or anything in Phyrexian in general.
How very interesting. A man made of flowstone. If I were to be able to get a hold of enough flowstone as yourself, that would have been great for some of my experiments. But unfortunately, the only two sources of it that exist, well, are very hard to get a hold of. That bitch queen doesn't let anybody get near her. And the furnace is well hidden.
Furnace?
We know about the furnace. We have to get to the furnace for the queen who gave us the
Oh,
glowstone.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I forgot.
That's why I reminded you.
Flowstone would have been much more helpful in my experiments. Much more refined, less tainted. You know how hard it is to remove Phyrexian influence from oil? It's not easy. Make it something you can program yourself.
Interesting.
Well, Flowstone Man, so you want to know about my secrets, is that it? What do I get out of it? You already have me prisoner. If you were going to kill me, I'm sure you would have when you had... One of you. He's going to kind of glare at Jace, mess around with my mind.
Look, something tells me you like to talk. So we're giving you the opportunity to talk.
I can talk about many things,
Cool.
but I'm not sure it's the subjects you want to hear about.
Can you tell us about yourself?
I come from a great line, a very powerful man. An illustrious ancestor whose name was spit upon for reasons that really were not earned.
Wasn't he like an incredibly powerful necromancer who did a lot of shitty things?
Necromancy is not the worst thing in the world.
No,
if it
of
wasn't
course
for
not.
necromancy, the Alliance during the Phyrexian invasion would have failed.
I'm not saying the necromancy is the shitty things. I'm saying he did other things that were shitty outside of the necromancy.
He fought a war and tried to conquer,
See, it's the conquering. That's the shitty thing.
but it's not. So many people do. The Keldans did it, and they don't call them shitty anymore. There were plenty of other cultures that tried to. The Bogardans attempted to invade Urborg. Vidalian have made many inquisitions into various places. There are plenty of people out there that attempt to keep on war and conquest constantly. Throughout Dominaria's history, it has been. So it is one more
A
person.
lot of people have also murdered and pillaged. Still shitty. Just because a lot of people do it doesn't mean it's good.
Nonetheless, he's known such a bad reputation because of his loss, not because of what he did. If he had won, perhaps things would have been remembered better.
Pretty sure all conquerors are assholes.
Let's not go down the route of insulting the owner of our establishment.
He doesn't own
Too
shit.
fucking
We
late.
bought it.
True, but let's be nice
Also,
to
he's
him.
a bitch.
I do have to say,
I don't know.
you were swindled. If you look
How
at the
so?
bylaws of Talarian Academy, there is no legal right that you would have had. If at most anything, it would have defaulted to another member of the dual family line.
Like your wife you keep preserved in your basement?
Like a bitch.
I did notice a distinct lack of bureaucracy and red tape on that document we were given for the house.
So, bitch, you would not inter someone, put them into a grave site, burn them to remember them, whatever your culture does, to bury the dead.
It was just an example. I wasn't saying you did a weird thing about it. I mean, you were kind of weird about it, but that's not what I was saying.
It's not that
That's
you...
what I was saying.
I'm not going to
Marion.
speak anymore until she leaves the room.
I think,
Understandably so. Carrion, can we have a moment?
yes, I think insulting him's not going to help us get any information.
He doesn't seem hostile either, so no
Yeah,
need
he's
for
a
the
bitch.
insults.
I think
But that's
Carrion's
gonna
just
go-
high on the room.
I'm also very fucking high. That is true.
Who wants to escort her out?
You don't have to. I'm leaving. But one more thing, bitch, and then I leave.
You keep
She's
such
not the most
pleasant
eloquent.
company.
Yeah, no, she is great though.
She would have been great to learn about earlier.
We're sorry about that.
You know how hard it is to
I'm
combine demonic blood with human?
No.
It's quite difficult. Amazing. A subject like that was right in front of my face just now.
And insulting you.
Well, her head would look very nice in a jar.
Okay. You see, you
We
keep
found
saying,
enough of those.
you say things like that, and it makes me think you're not a very good person.
Those that have wronged me find themselves without life. And I like to remember.
I have a question. I know you've mentioned like people who've wronged you. Are there any friends that you still have around?
I don't know. Do you remember all of your friends from all of your life?
I remember the ones that
Most
are really
of
important to
them.
me.
Most of them are in this room. We're
Hmm.
slightly outside of it.
How convenient for you.
That's true. My best friend is also right next to me.
Such an interesting group. I would have loved to have met you and learned things about all of you earlier. Would have helped me out on my research by decades.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're talking about dissection,
I-
aren't you?
I've known
I don't think I
people
can
like
dissect your one friend here.
I've known people like you.
What?
What kind of research are you alluding to? Is it particularly related to biology or something else?
Bioaugmentation, I'm guessing.
I've done much research. I've learned many things. I've gone directions that even the great Urza perhaps wouldn't have thought about. Granted, he went in some very dark directions. That's the legacy of Talarian Academy they don't like to speak about. That it was built on the backs of a monster. Everything I did, I only learned from the best. Yet all of you hold him so high. Because guess what? This world would be Phyrexian now if it wasn't for him. And all that he did. So, high and mighty folks, what do you say to that and to my research? I did things that the next great apocalypse, the next great terror, might be countered with. Granted, I did them for selfish reasons. I will not lie about that. But I'm not one to hide my research when it's complete. I just never had a chance to show it off. Not until my completion.
So you're saying that becoming a monster is the only way to defeat a monster?
Sometimes it is.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm curious more as to your thoughts about the monstrous nature of the Academy. Can you elaborate on that more?
Oh. I guess a lot of you, well, it seems as though some of you might know the dark history of this place. Human experiment, augmentations, genetics, destroying entire planes for power sources. The list goes on and on and on of the very awful things that Mr. Urza did. Did you know he conducted a 1,000-year experiment in breeding humans? Fascinating, isn't it? I believe his crew of the Weatherlight were all genetically bred to be perfect people on his end. He influenced their entire families. I discovered many of his notes. Things that were tried to be hidden, thrown under rugs. It's fascinating to read about by a man who extended his life far beyond what it should be. The strange abilities he had. The ability to travel between different realms. Did you know he could do that?
You were jealous of that, weren't you?
It's an interesting power. To travel to other planes. Something that has been so difficult since the rifts.
But you figured it out. At least in some way, yes?
A little bit of a cheat, if you will. An old trick. But I believe you understand that already. You found it. You asked about it. You found my trick. You just don't know how to use it, do you?
Well, that's not entirely true. We understand part of the mechanics of it. You need to have a destination. You can't travel blindly through it. At least not safely.
I will tell you this. You're only half correct with that one.
What's the other half?
You do not need to know a destination to travel with it. It only helps.
I believe... What? We met your friend, the witch that you kept chained up in the house in the maze.
Ah, the Fae. Yes. A strange creature.
She seemed incredibly hostile.
Well, I must say, her being there was a mistake. An early experiment with the gate that I happened to come across her. I wasn't trying to. Granted, it was a great boon once she was there.
I believe... How to put this?
Is she still alright? I'm hoping the enchantments I put in place will keep her alive. It was really the only thing keeping her alive.
I mean, constantly in pain.
It was the unfortunate side effect of trying to keep her being from disintegrating. That's what was going on.
I don't know.
She was constantly disintegrating.
we're getting off topic. What's the other part of opening the gate?
Opening the gate is always a very easy thing. The problem is, most of the time once you open it, you end up nowhere. It took me countless experiments and quite a bit of research on the initial information of where I found it to determine how to use it properly. And even then, it was more of a guessing game. It's like a game where you throw a fishing hook into a pit with the hope of grabbing the hold of the side of a ball and pulling it out. A small game you might find at a fair. Except you can't see the balls you're fishing for. They all look alike. And you're not sure if you're going to miss the balls and hit the water. Because you're just not looking. You're just throwing the fishing hook in blind and hoping for the best. It wasn't until my acquisition of the Fey friend. And I think because of her gifts is why I was able to hook her. She was using her abilities at the time. A coincidence. A lucky mistake. On both our ends. Well, for me, unlucky for her.
You keep avoiding the question.
Because why should I let you know how to use it? I'm merely telling you I determined how to use it. And that your assessment of how to use it is a little off. Once you learn how to harness it and activate it, then it must be tuned. Granted, the random tuning means that you might not find anything. You connect to, well, whatever is between planes. Which there are some strange things there. And I did hook a few objects. But nothing substantial. Anyway, I continued to fish until I found a few items, and of course, my Fey friend. Once I had her, though, well, I was able to harness her abilities and learn of so many more places, so many interesting realms. A plane, a world that's completely a city. Nothing but city all around. A place seemingly made completely of metal. A realm of waterfalls and spirits. So many interesting places. Each unique and different. I learned of dozens and dozens of places, and many of them did not interest me, at least at the time. I made notes of them, kept my research.
How about if you tell us of what we want to know, we'll tell... I know. No, I don't. We can answer questions. Questions for questions, yes? This is a common exchange.
The value of my question must be answered. And if you answer the question, I can answer a question of similar value.
I have a question for you.
One more
Do you
stipulation.
still have any...
I will not give away all my secrets. You will learn about 75% of my secrets. Because I will keep a small bit with me because it keeps me important. Because I fear that if you should find no use for me, you would remove me from the picture. I'm obviously at your mercy right now.
Well, if you're not going to give all information, then I do not see why we should give all information.
You don't need to. Ask your question, undead. Maxwell, that's you.
Sorry, what was the thing?
Ask your
Ask your
question,
question.
undead, he said.
Do you still have any goals in your current state?
Of course. My research was not complete. I had many projects I was still working on. Once they've been interrupted for... how long has it been? What year is it?
Good question.
you can
None
give
of
us-
us quite know the answer.
I had the year. I can let you know later on. But you
I was
can
just
give
saying, he's been he's been hibernating for about 20 years.
So you can give the date, and he'd be like, it's a long time to miss out on research. So yes, I've missed a lot of time, and I would have liked to have continued that research. He's just going to give a wry smile. Some of you might want to continue my research for me. So, if we have a deal about questions, how about this? I can provide you with something that would help you. The one thing that I would not remain hidden. As I said, a good portion of my research was to be shared. Of course, there are certain things that I've always kept secret deep within my heart, within my bosom, that I have not copied down because they are not refined or finished, or important for others to learn my research. But I can let you know where my notes are hidden. Have you discovered them?
A good portion of them, I think.
Some of them, yeah.
Have you seen my biopsy on 100 planes?
That doesn't sound familiar to me.
So you really haven't found my real note room. You found the more obvious ones.
We found the technical ones with regards to submersibles.
That little tryst, that was only a mild bit of my research.
I mean, I assumed so. Most of the books didn't seem to actually be your notes, and rather books that you had found and modified.
There's a study that has all of my major notes and findings in it. Wouldn't that be a researcher's wet dream?
Possibly. It's not exactly what we're looking for at the moment, though.
Then perhaps I will keep that on the cuff for now. Well, do you want to begin? Question for question. Do you wish to make a deal?
I'm going to turn to look at the powerful spellcasters in the room that aren't us,
Mm-hmm.
and see if I have their go-ahead.
Jace will be like, the main issue of his danger is seemingly resolved. Whether or not there are questions to be asked and what you want to answer will be up to you. Our questions that we have might be answered by yours, and it's obviously that you're thinking of that. So, it is up to you how much is probed now. We'll leave the decision to you.
I was hoping you'd tell me yes or no, so then you can have the responsibility. That's just honesty right there. This is fine. Let's go for it. Yeah. Question for question.
Excellent. Then let us begin. Next time!
I fucking knew you were
Do
gonna
it.
do that.
I'm so scared with this devil deal that we're doing.
We didn't shake on it, so it's not legally binding.
Not
That's
even
fair.
there.
I mean, the
kicked
guy
out.
seemed pretty cooperative even without that deal. For some things, at least.
Yo, he was willing to like brag.
Well, the thing is, like, he's a scientist. And the thing is, it's like he's saying, like, his notes that he could tell you about are, like, the stuff that he completed. He's willing to share that. You know, he's like, I did all this really cool stuff. You can go learn about it now. He's just like, yeah, I didn't write everything down because some of it's not complete. So if you want to learn about that stuff, it's a lot more difficult. But there's a lot of research that he can be like, sure, you could learn about it. I'm not against that. Why would I hide that? You know?
I mean, if anything, I would imagine this guy wants his life work to be fulfilled, given that he's unable to.
I think the thing that's
No,
the most telling
he wants to be the one to learn it.
well, the thing that's most telling is what he said was, He learned all this stuff for selfish reasons, but he recognizes that all of it would be very useful for the world to learn about, and might help prevent things like the next apocalypse, which probably plenty of people worry about.
But is that true or just grandstanding?
It's hard to say.
He's kind of
I'm
an
also
narcissist.
But he's also very smart, so we can't really just like discount it.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, but it's also, if we use the information he has, we're kind of also
Complicit.
almost complicit on.
Oh, yeah, and that's why he was telling you, hey, that's already happened. Look at all the current research. There's a lot of it that's based on Urza's stuff, and Urza did a lot of shady shit.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Oh yeah,
It seems like a pretty big pivotal moment for the party regarding morals, and I'm very interested about it.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm
going to use any of his reasons, am I?
Well, we may. I mean, if we're going to use anything like try to do anything with the portal.
I'm not. I'm just asking that question for the Gatewatch folks.
He knows how to use the portal. Effectively, the big thing that he said about it is, on his own, it was very difficult to figure out how to get to, like, other planes and stuff like that. That was not an easy thing to, like, tune it to that, because, and it was just random chance he came across the Fae and used that to learn a lot, and then was able to tune it. As he said, you don't need a destination. It helps know a destination, that thing.
And that's the only step I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, why don't we give shout-outs and pop out for today? Let's start, of course, with Mads, if she's still there. I don't know. Yeah, she's still there. She just appeared.
I'm still here. I'm just,
He's a hand.
She's a hand.
you know,
Mhm.
sliding out of my chair at this point. Hey, with two of these fucks being Joe and Tantus, we're on Funny Ones Tuesday Star Trek game,
Mhm.
where we're gonna create a massive black hole and probably kill everyone.
No, a wormhole, and it's supposed to be
Wormhole.
a small one,
Where it's gonna be massive and we're gonna kill everyone.
or just get sucked into another part of the galaxy,
One of these
Or
things.
get sucked into another part of the galaxy.
or another galaxy for all.
Yeah, who knows?
Or get sucked into another galaxy and then die.
That could happen too. You never know.
Or we could our ship could turn into a giant puppy.
That'd be interesting.
God, I
and
can
weird.
only hope.
Fish.
Hi, everybody. I'm Fish Harlan. This week, you can find me lecturing on the topic of gremlin biology. Do I mean the gremlins from the movie Gremlins? Do I mean gremlins from that one time they were on the Twilight Zone with William Shatner? Who the fuck knows? I do.
It could be all of the above. You have to, like, specify your different types of gremlins.
You're just gonna have to come to the lecture to find out.
Lee.
Hey guys, I'm just Lee Belmont. I'm also a Twitch streamer. Currently, my niche are Mario RPGs and 3D platformers. So if you like either of those and you want a decently comedic guy, you know where to find me.
We're just doing practice runs for the Super Nintendo Mario RPG. That's a good one. I stopped by and lurked for a little bit while you're doing that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I have to learn how to fight the birthday cake, which is like a run killer.
I gotta be honest. I am so, like, out of touch in that game. Like, I don't even think I beat it. I think I rented it one time and I played through like 3/4 of it. So, Joe.
I'm Joe. You'll find me here on Thursdays and on Funny Ones channel on Tuesdays for our Star Trek game. So that's where you can find me.
Tantus and Dracovin. Saturdays, 2 p.m. EST, discussing tabletop discussion show. Talk about a lot of great topics and some deeper discussions on role-playing. I'd check it out. For other games, unlike other than this one, which is at, of course, 9 o'clock every Thursday, which hopefully you can join us for. Monday, 2 p.m., hopefully we're going to have the finale of Records of Evil. We're trying to get all the players, since we've been having some issues doing that, like the full time, just so we can finish up. That's the finale of that one, a Lawful Evil D&D game set in modern-day Faerun. And then there's Legacies of Kain on Tuesdays. Also, all these are 2 p.m., those 3 games. That's a Vampire the Masquerade game. That's a really fun one where they've been doing a lot of weird shenanigans and stuff like that. That I definitely recommend that one. And I might do some gaming streams this upcoming week. I've got some plans for it. I've been thinking about at least once a week hitting up some classic RPGs and playing them for a little bit. And I might start that tomorrow or the next couple of days. So that'll be a fun one when I do that. It'll probably be a Nintendo game to start out with. That'll be a classic RPG to start out with. That's what my current plan is. I'm going to keep it up as a surprise which one it is. There's not many of them. But, Anyway, I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening, great night. I hope you enjoyed yourself joining us today. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, and hopefully we can see you next time. But until then, farewell, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. And by